talk about a shape that needs no description and no introduction. It cannot possibly be mistaken for anything else. Yeah, it's the Suzuki Jimny. The baby Jeep. I'm allowed to call it that. I hope so. But we all know it. The Suzuki grille, of course, with the 5 upright slats over there. Extra little grille area down there. You've got the amazing clearance considering the vehicle with a skid plate underneath, because most people don't believe the fact of what a capable off-roader this little car is. Really and truly is. Now, this is the recently introduced middle spec GL version. When they launched the current generation Jimny, there was GA and GLX. They brought in the middle one. I'm going to concentrate a fair bit in this video on the differences between the different spec levels, more than anything, because I've tested the Jimny before and it's been around for a while. The first big difference is these are halogen type headlights over here. You do get LEDs on GLX. Pretty important. You get the fog lights here, which you don't get on GA, for example. So there you'll get an idea of differences. Of course, this bonnet is just so standard, is just so expected from Suzuki, and it harks to Vitaras and all the other models. You can't mistake it as a Suzuki, let alone a Jimny. The cladding around the wheel arch, I mean, just look at this. You can see it looks and feels substantial. It's roughy-tufty, isn't it? Now again, GLX give you 15-inch mag wheels or alloy wheels, whereas GA leaves you with steel wheels. It's little things, but they make a difference, they add up. We'll discuss how much money is involved in moving from one spec to the other, because that's also important. The color. Let's talk the color of this car. It's yellow with a bit of green in it. It's bright, it's out there. I don't think I'd want any other car in the world in this color, but somehow it works in the Jimny. And in fact, we saw an exact same color one on our way here and got a big Suzuki wave or a Jimny wave from the drivers as they went past us. It felt good. It's a nice smile, feel good factor to it. You come around to the back, of course, this is all typical, you know it all, you're used to it. GLX gives you more of a spoiler on the back over there. Again, a little change. I don't think it's that important. The side opening rear door, that again, standard, we all know about it. And of course, the complaint that everybody has when you start. Luggage space with both rear seats up is quoted as 85 litres. That's all. To me, I've always said the Jimny, if you want to travel in one, is ideal as a 3-seater. Leave one seat up, drop one, and at least you've got luggage space. To me, that's the only way to be practical with this car. But it's going to depend on you. It's going to depend on your requirements and things like that. And you'll never forget, of course, the spare wheel outside on the back. Again, the clearance at the rear over there, because this has been built to be an off-roader if you want it for off-roading. Let's see what it's like on the road. Let's see what it's like inside, and just compare a few more spec differences between the different grades. One of the facts of life when you buy a 2-door car is always access to the back seat. So let's take a look how the Jimny does it. Door opens nice and wide. It's a good starting point. You use the lever over here. You flip forward, slide forward. Quite simple, quite straightforward. Let's see, I'll climb in. And not bad, all things considered. And I'm proud to tell you there is enough headroom for me with my hat on. Let's just bring it back, slide it. I've certainly left the seat a lot further forward to give an idea, but if you look at the driver's seat over there, you'll see that's set for myself. The legroom is reasonable. I can't say more than reasonable, but it's there, it's okay. Now, you'll notice we've got a kiddie seat in the back here. I'll say two things about it. With the driver's seat set for myself, there's certainly enough space for it. The ISOFIX is easy to put in and take out. But, it certainly is taking up very much half of the space in the seat. So you now really are down to a three-seater with no boot again. Or maybe you're a family with only one little one, because otherwise you are going to have practical issues. But that's something you'll think about before you buy a Jimny, isn't it? Certainly up to you. On the road, well, it's a Jimny. It's difficult to say more than that. But it's bouncy, it's bumpy, it's not exactly the most comfortable vehicle on the road. And even though the engine is now the 1.5 with 75 kilowatts and 130 newton meters of torque, it's really a case of going nowhere slowly or going everywhere slowly, whichever way you want to phrase it. You're not going to get anywhere very fast. But you know what? I can give you lots and lots of negatives about this car, but it still has a magic. There is still something completely and utterly magical about the Jimny that will never go away and you will never escape from or anything like that. It just is unique. It's by far the cheapest 4x4 available in South Africa, we know that, and it's 4x4 capable, we know that. So this car is such a contradiction. It really is. You can hear I'm just going up a little bit of a hill. I'm in third gear and it's going to whine at me now and take it slowly, as it will do, because that's what a Jimny does. And you feel every bump on the road. It's all those things. But you know what? You just forgive it, because it's such a lovable little thing. And the other word that really does make a difference is little. But it is. It's a lovable little thing at realistic money, and it just puts a smile on your face. That's where it really comes from. The gear shift is light and easy. It's not bad. The steering is incredibly light. So to drive it around town is easy. And parking it is an absolute cinch, because, of course, remember the fact that it's tiny, so it fits into every little parking place you want. So it's got all those advantages. And as I just said a moment ago, all you do is smile. And that's what really does matter, doesn't it, in this world? Look behind the steering wheel, as we always will do when we do this. You can see, remembering that it's got a tiny little 40-litre fuel tank. It says 87 kilometers left, but of course what you're going to want to know is we've averaged 7.1 litres per 100 on this test, which I think is a pretty fair reflection for this car. Suzuki do claim 6.3. Well, it's not their figure, but it's not that far off either, is it? The instrumentation is relatively basic. As you see, you use that old-fashioned system of pressing a button over there to change what you want on the trip computer. Well, it's there, it's simple, it's easy. You've got the basics on your steering wheel of course, your sound system on that side, and hidden underneath, of course, your Bluetooth for your phone. It works, it's fine, it's a bit old-fashioned, but I'm not going to complain too much. Well, now let's come across again. Now we get differences between GA, GL, and GLX, and it's shown over here. GA gets an even more basic system. GL gets this with Bluetooth, etc., even a CD player, believe it or not, in today's day and age, but it has the CD player. And GLX will give you the full infotainment touchscreen with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. So there are your differences, and that's the main difference on the interior between the models, really. You come down, you've got an aircon system, it's fairly effective, works nicely, and below that you've got, of course, the two front windows on the outsides, you've got a downhill descent control, and you've got a traction control you can turn off if you're brave enough and if you want to, you've got a USB and a 12 volt below there, okay? And if I'm not mistaken, GA does without the USB, but I do need to check that for myself as well. Something I've noticed on this vehicle is you've got this tiny little storage compartment there, which is too small for a cell phone. You've got nothing behind, well, again, a little slot over here between the seats. But I did struggle to find a decent place to put my cell phone while driving in this car. So keep that in mind. Your manual 5-speed gearbox, easy, light, nothing to report. It does the job, it works well. And then you've got the good old-fashioned system for changing between 2 high, 4 high, and 4 low. This really takes you back, doesn't it? It's old-fashioned, but it works. So I think that's what counts. But let's have a look. Unfortunately, the placing, it's short, and the handbrake, so it doesn't make a hat stand for my hat, like some models I have tested in the past where that extra gear lever made a perfect hat stand for my hat. Old-fashioned manual handbrake, I've got no complaints about that. And then let's have a look. Your dash itself, well, it's like in segments, can I call it? But it looks pretty neat. The aircon sticks out a bit, but it all looks nice. And you've got a good 4x4 grab handle for your front passenger, for them to hang on for dear life while they are, for example, you are 4x4ing or off-roading or something in that line. So that is important and useful, and it does make a bit of a difference. So keep that in mind as well. Something I have to point out, and it's going to be one of my picky points or gripes, is doors do not lock on pull-off. Well, you've got locking, you just cluck that and it locks all 3 doors, but I would really appreciate auto locking on pull-off in South Africa. I keep mentioning it, and I have to carry on with it. So let's talk price. Well, you start at about, and I'm going to just round them off. Well, you're looking at 326,900 for the GA, 343,900 for the GL, as we're in right now, and 364,900 for the full spec GLX model. Again, what are the differences, etc.? One of the differences is going to be, besides what I've shown you on the cars, is the fact the GA gets a 2-year, 30,000 kilometer service plan. The other two, like we're in now, GLX, jump up to a 4-year, 60,000. So that's 2 extra services. That could be a fair bit of money of the difference in price. It runs at around 20,000 per model. So keep that one in mind, because to me, that could be a decider, quite honestly, at the end of the day. But what you do know is you buy a Jimny, you're getting the most capable little off-roader you could possibly want. Whether you can live with it on road, that is the choice you're going to make. But there's no 4x4 capable vehicle anywhere near this price-wise. So it depends on you, depends on the lifestyle you're looking for. Let me leave it at that. For Motor Matters, I'm Eleanor. I'll see you next time.